So we got another reporter here following up on this whole shenanigans of the process, the classified documents. We'll see if she actually answers the question. Let's go ahead and roll it.
Karine, thank you so much. Does the White House and does the president agree to fully cooperate with the special counsel investigation?
We have said that we are going to continue to fully cooperate. We have been. The president's lawyers and team has been fully cooperating with the Department of Justice, and they're certainly going to do that with the special counsel.
And so, by that reasoning, would the president agree to sit for an on-the-record, in-person interview?
I'm not going to get into specifics or get ahead of what's going to happen. I'm not going to get into hypotheticals because that is a hypothetical. What I will say is we have addressed this multiple times at length, and we are going to continue. The president's team is going to continue to fully cooperate with the Department of Justice, and we respect that process, and that's what we're going to do.
The president has said he hopes to speak about this soon. When can people expect to hear from him about this?
Don't have, again, that is something that I can't. I don't have a magic wand here. I don't know when that's going to happen. What I can say is his team is going to fully cooperate with the Department of Justice. Let's not forget, the president said during the campaign that when it comes to the Department of Justice independence, he respects that. And that is something that he had said was incredibly important to make sure that they had their independence. That's why we say
you got to love when things try to like somewhat work in her favor. She's going to talk about the campaign. But the fact that Joe Biden talked about during the campaign multiple times that he wanted to get rid of the fossil fuel industry, and when gas prices shot through the roof, they blamed it on Putin's price hike, but not the fact that he said he wants to remove fossil fuels from basically all of America. You know, she's not going to talk about that or utilize that or even speak about that. But when it works in her favor, folks, we're going to go back to the campaign and talk about what Joe Biden said and the promises that he made. Furthermore, he also made promises during the campaign to be transparent. But they're not. And she's going to say, well, we talked about this at length. You haven't talked about crap at length. That's why you're getting so many questions about it. Nobody knows what's going on because you're being tight-lipped about all of it, Karine, which you said you're going to be. Which you said you're not going to tell anybody anything. But hey, they're going to be clear and, at length about everything.
We're going to make sure that they have their independence, and that's why I'm saying that we're going to refer to Department of Justice.
And let me just ask you a big picture question here. Does the White House, broadly speaking, have an obligation to share not just with the National Archives, but with the American people when the existence of classified information is found in a private location?
Again, there is a process in this.
But just big picture, not necessarily in this instance, but is it the policy of the White House that they should share that information, not just with the National Archives, but with the Americans?
So I'll say this, Kristen. We have been transparent in the last couple of days. Remember, there's an ongoing process, and we have spoken when it is appropriate. And we have...
You guys, there was a third set of documents found the day before this happened. So they lied about and didn't tell anybody November 4th from all the way till January 11th about the first set of documents. Then from December 20th all the way till, January 11th about the second set of documents. And didn't even tell us January 11th about the second set of documents. We found out about them on January 12th, a day after the press briefing in which she was asked for an opportunity to say, was there any other documents out there? And then on January 12th, Philip Wegman asks, in a nutshell, a roundabout way of, are there any other documents? Was there any other documents that maybe somebody could have stopped by on another trip in between some other trips that some documents could have been found or whatever it may be? And she didn't answer the question there either. She talked about some sort of cockamamie process. So now we're here. There's an opportunity that she actually might be knowing about a third set of documents, but not disclosing it all. But then she's going to say that they're being transparent. And she was given a layup of a question. Hey, do the American public or the American people have a right to know? Yes, they do. But they didn't. And now she's lying again. How many times? Fool me once, right? Fool me once, fool me twice, all those things.
Shared, again, I've been here almost every day, not every day, but from Wednesday, yesterday, and today, taking your questions on this. The White House counsel has put out a very extensive multiple statements on this as well. And you all, I know you all have been talking, many of you here have been talking to my colleague in the White House counsel. So what the actions that we took were right actions that his team took in dealing with the Department of Justice and also the archives. Look, I have.
You guys have answered questions when the press has broken in the news.
Because it's an ongoing process.
You go, girl. You go. Man, I almost feel like Jackie Heinrich's in the building right now, even though she has this Kristen, but God damn, good job. You know, following up, piecing it together for her, because we all know how Karine works. She's not all here, just like her boss. I'm loving these hardball questions, folks. She's finally, look, you got to give credit to the press, you guys. We got a lot of Republicans and conservatives on that Watch the Ball Brad show that still aren't for the press. You guys, there's a lot of people in that room that do a great job just because we're so used to what happened under the Trump administration. Not all these people are the same people. They're working to get their questions answered, to get our questions answered. They're trying to do their job. I mean, how clear can you be? They're trying, folks. They're trying.
Yes, because again, it is an ongoing process. There is a process here. The Department of Justice is independent. We respect that process. But again, I have taken questions. I can take two questions through 100 questions. I have answered your questions as almost every day on this issue. And again, anything else that you may have, anything that's related to the review, I would refer you to the Department of Justice.
One last question, because I know you've got to move on here. But the president campaigned on the argument that he would restore competence. We know that he's in the process of deciding whether to officially announce he's running for re-election. Does this episode undercut that argument that he would restore competence? Because here we have in the headlines that he is now under investigation.
He's restored independence in the Department of Justice. That's what we're doing here. When we're saying we're going to refer you to the Department of Justice, that is restoring independence as it relates to issues like this. And that is important to the president. And it's been consistent. What I am saying about investigations has been consistent for the last 2 years. You've heard me over and over. Again, when it comes to a legal issue or a matter like this, we have always referred to the Department of Justice. So there's nothing here different here. We have said we wanted to restore the independence of the Department of Justice. That is what you're seeing. And again, this has been done in a transparent way. When it relates to how this was dealt with the Department of Justice and the archives. The president takes this very, very seriously. Any other questions that you may have about this particular issue, about the review, I would refer you to the Department of Justice. You guys have been in touch with my colleagues at the White House Counsel Office, and I would suggest that you continue to reach out. Go ahead, Steve.
It's pretty remarkable if she's going to talk about competence with Joe Biden, you guys. We've all seen the guy. He can't read off a cue card. He can't read from a teleprompter. There's still Democrats out there that think it has to do with a stuttering problem, which it doesn't. The guy didn't have a problem 8 years ago stuttering, and all of a sudden he does now. So it's his dementia. He's not competent. He's not even competent on getting to the Oval Office. We all seen the clip of the Secret Service guiding the guy, and he still couldn't do it. You're telling me this guy's competent? He leaves classified documents in his garage, and he actually gets not a big deal. I said, well, everyone does it. Everyone leaves classified documents in their garage, you know? And then she's going to say that they're transparent and correlate him being competent with restoring the Justice Department that went after freaking every other conservative out there that you could probably possibly name, one of them being Donald Trump, literally using the Justice Department for the last 6 years to go after the man. Don't give me all this stuff of you're restoring justice and all these things. And by the way, the question was about basically competence with the American people. How can we trust the guy? How can we trust Ukraine when you're telling us that you're being transparent right now when in actuality you aren't? And by the way, again, I know I'm repeating myself. At this moment in time, you guys, the third set of documents have been found. And she's saying she's being transparent without telling you the fact that the third set of documents have been found. So she's going to continue this charade. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.